done any welding will tell you flat floors, flat bases. You're possibly looking for a central peak in the middle, but you're looking for flat floors. What creates a crater with a flat floor and a terraced wall? Anybody who's done any welding will tell you electric arcs will do that. This is an internal view of Copernicus crater. You can see the terracing on the walls. Instead of big impact craters, these are electric discharge craters. And Peter mentioned this yesterday, that a lot of modern research is identifying that the world is not just, the solar system is not held in place purely by gravitation, which is what Isaac Newton claimed, because Isaac Newton didn't know what electricity was. It hadn't been invented, if you like. Nobody had identified electricity. It took Faraday to do that about 150 years later. So Newton comes up with the only explanation he can think of, given the knowledge he has. As knowledge is acquired, better information is available, and more realistic explanations can be offered. If this is an electric discharge crater, we live in an electric universe. And again, the sun is not a giant nuclear reactor. It's basically a ball of electricity. It's not actually that hot, close to, about 6,000 degrees. It's not very hot. Because if it was, the closer you got to it, the hotter you'd get. And you don't. It is powerful. It's a huge thing, the sun. But if it's an electric universe we live in, the whole of celestial mechanics needs to be rethought. This was one of the points that Velikovsky came up with, of his study of various aspects of the catastrophic theories that he was proposing for evidence on Earth. And of course that sent the astronomers completely doolally. You couldn't have an electric universe. Because to cap it all, he then said that the planet Venus didn't start life as a planet, it started life as a comet, ejected from the planet Jupiter. Remember the planet Jupiter, otherwise known as Zeus, the chief of the gods? Firing thunderbolts. Planet Venus is a little bit smaller than Earth. Firing thunderbolts, what does that indicate? Electric discharges? Hang on a minute, are we seeing something that the evidence exists for? We are. We're seeing it. We see it on the moon, but we don't see it on Earth. Oh no, we're told everything happens so slowly, it all has worn away. There's only 200 craters visible on Earth. They may well be impact craters. There will be some. Remember the famous one that in Mexico, or near Mexico, that wiped out the dinosaurs very conveniently? Because they're all fossilized. We dug up a mammoth the other day in Siberia that was virtually intact. Its eyeballs were still intact. A mammoth in Siberia? What's it doing there? No, it's not a cold animal. I mean, it doesn't live in a cold part of the world. It's got fur on, but so have tigers. Tigers don't live in the Arctic. Tigers live in the tropics. Polar bears live in the Arctic. Other bears live in the tropics. You don't need a furry coat like a hairy mammoth to live in the Arctic, because they don't get buttercups in the Arctic, and that's what they were eating. However, another indication that something strange has happened to this planet. Well, Velikovsky suggested not only was the sun not hot, as hot as it claimed to be, but the planet Venus, as we now know it, was a comet originally ejected from Jupiter that went into orbit around the sun and passed very close to the orbit of the Earth, close enough to affect the surface of the Earth. Now, we all know that the moon exists, because you've only got to look out the window at night, and there it is. Well, half the month it's there. We live on